Thank you, sir. I rise to speak on the motion of thanks to the President's address on behalf of my party, the DMK. First, I would like to express my grief and empathy to the families of the people who died in the stampede at the Kumbh Mela. These people trusted the union government and the state government and gathered there, hoping that you will protect them. But unfortunately, no one protected them. When religion and politics merge, it is the innocent people who suffer, and this is an example of that. And sadly, I don't know whether we're waiting for the elections. We don't even know the numbers of the people who've died in the stampede. Isn't this not inhuman? And you don't even want to allow a discussion in Parliament. Sir, the President of India ended her speech saying our Bharat is a country of 140 crore people, and we have diverse states, diverse regions, and diverse languages. I'm happy that the President of India still believes in the diverseness of this great nation. India is a country with almost 8 major religions, more than 100 ethnic groups, 700 tribes, and 121 languages. As a nation, we have always celebrated this diversity, and our unity is deeply rooted in this diversity. But the government today has chosen the politics of forced cultural assimilation and cultural elimination. The President started her speech mentioning the 75th anniversary of adoption of our Constitution. She expressed great pride in the achievements during Amrit Kal. And also, in her speech in this very house, she mentioned that we recently celebrated our 75th anniversary of Indian Republic. But none of us in this house can forget that just 2 years ago, in this very same house, in the first session, a Muslim member of Parliament faced derogatory communal remarks by a colleague from the ruling party on the very first session. It was a dark day, a day of dark, abysmal despair to our nation. They have divided society into us and them. And I must remind this august House that it will take ages to repair this divide. Just look around. We will find a decreasing number of Muslim members in Parliament, a decreasing number of officials, bureaucrats from the SC, ST, OBC, and minority communities. The President glorified India's civilizational nationalism, a phrase increasingly used to justify a monolithic culture. India is a living, breathing entity that has been enriched by centuries of interactions from across the world, creating a vibrant cultural tapestry. When you talk about Indian history, you started 3,500 years ago with the Vedic age. But today, we know that the Iron Age in India has been traced back to 5,345 years ago. Our Chief Minister, MK Stalin, has proudly proclaimed to the world and based on scientific evidence validated by international labs like Beta Analytics in Florida, that Shivakalai, a small, sleepy village in Thoothukudi district, today holds within it the proof of iron smelting and usage. This is the oldest finding in India till today.
Where the MP comes from?
The union government till today has not even commented about this finding, which is very important internationally. When you exclude this truth, you just not only exclude us, but you are excluding yourselves from the great legacy of Dravidian civilization. The proponents of Hindutva ideology have this question: who is an Indian and who is not? V.D. Savarkar came up with the answer many years ago. A loyal Indian is one who is attached to the geography of India, who is born in India, and whose religion has indigenous roots. A Hindu means a person who regards this land from the Indus to the seas as his fatherland and as well as his holy land. But let me remind this House of the words of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, a Congress leader who you seem to have taken over and invoke frequently. In 1947, when it was suggested to him that India should be declared as a Hindu state, Sardar Patel replied, "We must not forget that there are, quote, that there are other minorities whose protection is our primary responsibility." In 1950, he stated, "Ours is a secular state." I like to underline, he said that ours is a secular state, and we cannot fashion our politics in the way of Pakistan is doing. Here, every Muslim should feel that he is an Indian citizen and has equal rights as an Indian. The government celebrates Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. It disregards most of his fundamental principles. If you truly respect him, please protect every citizen, honor every culture, and stop selective imposition of one ideology over the rest. Building a 3,000 crore statue of unity is not paying respect to him. Please understand his words and implement it. That is true tribute to any leader. But this government ensures in every possible way that the minorities of this country do not feel comfortable. They are kept on edge and feel like outsiders. The CAA, Triple Talaq, the Work Board Bill, the Uniform Civil Code, mob lynching, and state excesses are the unending examples of how you push the minorities and make them feel threatened. In August 2019, this government revoked the autonomy of Kashmir, the only Muslim majority state in India, and made it a union territory. Around the same time, you passed a new amendment to the anti-terror law. In this amendment ensured and gave you the right to classify individuals as terrorists and promoters of terrorism. And under this law, hundreds of Kashmiri politicians, activists were jailed, civil liberties were suspended, and protests banned. A few months later, the CAA, this provided a fast track to citizenship for many minority communities. The law specified that communities which could use this law were Buddhists, Christians, Hindus, Jains, Parsis, and Sikhs. These communities made it to the list, but the Muslims were omitted despite their presence in countries where they are minorities and have been persecuted and have even suffered violent attacks. And in many of the BJP-ruled states, you've coined a term, love jihad, where adult men and women are not allowed to get married to each other because they belong to different religious groups. And your reasoning is that Hindus will become a minority in this country. India has 14% Muslim population and almost 80% Hindu population. Creating false narratives like this is your way of politics. But at least let people, individuals who have the right to make a personal choice in their private lives, let them live a life. And we've seen in most of the BJP-ruled states, mobs assault minorities while the police stand idle. I can't even say mobs assault them because in some states, the authorities themselves bulldoze Muslim homes and businesses. And lynchings cannot become widespread without atmosphere of impunity which you are ready to give. Attack on civil society groups are surging. Any voice of dissent is called anti-national. In November 2021, the National Security Advisor, Ajit Doval, told the graduating class of the National Police Academy in Hyderabad, the new frontiers of war is the civil society. The National Security Advisor tells the National Police Academy in Hyderabad that the new frontiers of war is the civil society. Since 2015, close to 17,000 civil society organizations have been denied registration or renewal. Next, the Christian NGOs are disproportionately losing their FCRA licenses. Out of the 2,257 NGOs who've lost their FCRA licenses, 1,626 are affiliated with Christian social programs. This is a targeted financial stranglehold on organizations that serve India's most vulnerable population. The Christian community, which constitutes around 11.54% of the total religious population, operates 72% of all religious minority schools in India, and over 5,000 hospitals in rural places. But still, you do not want them to help the marginalized, the underprivileged. Attacks on Christian organizations and churches have escalated over the years, with Uttar Pradesh emerging as the hotspot. This government campaigns under the banner Sabka Saath, but seems to be unable or unwilling to safeguard its minorities and failing its marginalized Indians. The Honorable President, in her address, mentioned about the spirit of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas, Sabka Prayas. I got a copy of the English translation of the President's speech. And when I got the copy, I was very confident that I will be able to read through it without anybody's help or support. But I was mistaken. Even to get through one page, I needed help of translators, because this speech has been studded and sprayed liberally with Hindi and Sanskrit phrases, which happen to be the names of schemes or the policy of the ruling government, which is in slogans. So, how can you talk about we together if your own, even translations do not include us and they are excluding us? And the President, and I think the Honorable Speaker from the BJP also spoke about the Kashi Tamil Sangamam and the Saurashtra Tamil Sangamam. You remember all these only during elections. Okay, but let us leave that alone. But for you, Tamil seems to start in Kasi and end in Gujarat. But it is a living language. I'd like to ask, if you really care about, you quote Tirukural also, and I think that only mention of Tamil Nadu or anything Tamil in the budget was Tirukural, nothing apart from that. So, between 2014 and 2022, the union government has allocated 74 crores for the Central Institute of Tamil Nadu, in Tamil Nadu. Whereas it has allocated to the the Central Sanskrit University, 1,487.81 crores. We don't have staff in the Central University. We do not have epigraphists to decipher Tamil inscriptions. The President in her speech proudly proclaimed that manuscripts are being digitized. I'd like to bring it to the notice of this House that the Tamil manuscripts in Tamil University in Tanjavur are being digitized with the help of the British Library in London instead of the support of the Union government. Legislature, judiciary, and the executive are three pillars of the democracy. But this government is undermining all three. The key democratic institutions may have formally remained in place, but the norms and practices which hold democracy have deteriorated. The Wiedem report on democracy says India has been downgraded to the state of electoral autocracy. In the past 11 years, we have seen that bills have been brought without proper consultation with stakeholders and bills which undermine the rights of state governments. In 1994, the Supreme Court ruling in the S.R. Bommai case underscored that states were not mere extensions of the Union. Rather, they possess supremacy within their constitutionally defined domain. I'd like to remind the Union government about this case, and you seem to have forgotten that states have their rights, and the rights have been promised, have been secured under the Constitution of this country. I'd like to just go through a list of the bills which were passed in this House. The Electricity Amendment Bill, Act 2022. It sought to allow multiple private distributors in state-controlled power sectors, reducing state government's control over the electricity distribution. Mines and minerals. This act, which enabled the Union government to auction tungsten in Aritapatti in Madurai without the consent of the Tamil Nadu government. The Chief Minister had to bring a resolution in Assembly against this, and the continuous protests of the people of Aritapatti. Only after that did you withdraw this. The Dam Safety Act 2021 further gave the Union government the power over dams across states. The Forest Conservation Amendment Act diluted state control over forests, allowing infrastructure development in forests without state approval, affecting tribal and environmental rights. The three criminal laws, Bharatiya Nyaya, okay, whatever. Actually, when a very senior lawyer, when I asked him to explain what this bill was about, the first thing he told me was, first let me get the translation, and then I will be able to explain it to you. The National Education Policy, which you're very, very, very proud of, it imposes a uniform education policy disregarding the distinct linguistic and educational priorities of the states like Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra, Kerala, and Telangana. The farm laws, I don't have to talk about it. The Union government seems to have forgotten that education is under the concurrent list, and it is not in the Union list. The UGC draft regulation 2025, which ultimately wants to centralize control over university leadership, particularly through appointment of vice-chancellors, undermining the federalism of overriding state laws and imposing central criteria on state university. This limits the autonomy of universities and hinder their ability to function according to regional needs. And the one nation, one election. Again, this is being brought so that when during an election, the issues which are important to states, state governments, are wiped away, are lost, and the national parties, the national parties can set the agendas for the election, and the states do not matter. 5 minutes. The census delimitation.
There is already one speaker more already. And
yes, sir, I'll just finish. I'm just finishing. The census delimitation
I'm just reminding. I'm not. It is to
sir?
It is to you too, because you have one more speaker.
So we insist on caste census, but we have to oppose delimitation based on the census. States which have done well, which have controlled population, which have advanced education, health, and employment, are the ones which are going to suffer. Just because we have reduced the population, just because we've been responsible states, it does not mean we have to suffer. And then, once again, the balance of power will become lopsided. So this government has failed its citizens even in providing basic amenities such as food, employment, education, and shelter. You keep talking about Amrit Kal. I don't think we've even arrived at Achhe Din, which you started with. So where is the time, where is the possibility of talking about the Kal? Kal means Kalam, I think. And you're talking about protecting farmers. Do you know that 1,474 farmers have committed suicide between 2014 and 2022 because the insurance companies which collected around 57,620 crores has only given back 3,878 crores to the farmers. You have not protected the farmers. And the Narega workers. This government has taken away work from rural India. And this bill was brought to ensure 100 days of employment for people who had no other means of income. But you've cut down 84.7 lakh workers from the list. And this is from your own registry. And the government, in its budget, has reduced food subsidy by 8,000 crores. Is this Amrit Kal? I think the LOP has spoken about youth and employment. But when you were in your campaign mode, you were talking about 2 crore jobs. But in the speech of the president, it has come to 10 lakh per year.
Kindly conclude. You have already
2 minutes.
taken more than
I'm just wrapping
25
up,
minutes, and your time, party time is only 29. And one speaker has. I think so. Time is already, she has taken more than 25.
Sir, I'd just like, you're talking about education. Sir, in a unstart question, the government has replied that 13,500 students from SC, ST, OBC communities have dropped out of central universities because of discriminations faced by them. It is just not the students, sir. A professor, Gopal Das in Bangalore, had to write to the president of this country for justice. And in the investigation, it's been confirmed that there was workplace discrimination involving the dean and the director. The stories of Rohit Venumalas still continue. His words, "My birth is my fatal accident," still hurts our minds.
Kanimozhi ji, kindly.
Just finishing, sir.
Kindly conclude. You have already taken more than 25.
So
your time is only 29.
You're holding a stranglehold over the media. I think many people have spoken about how the media is being owned by some corporates who will never go against you, and the journalists are threatened. There have been so many arrests without any rhyme or reason, and there's no protection for journalism and the media houses in this country. And to threaten the opposition, you have been using income tax, CBI in ED, but now you found another new way, the governors. In non-BJP states, you use your governors to create confusion. Yes, all of us. Sir, I'd just like to... Sir,
she's concluding, sir.
Sir, when he gets every day, he gets getting a 0 hour.
But Kanimozhi ji, you can't discuss about the conduct of the governor, and whatever you are saying, are you? No.
Why not, sir?
It will not be part of the record. Mr. Raja, please, I think so you are aware. What he says.
We have seen our governor walk in and walk out of our assembly, insulting the government, insulting the state anthem, insulting the national anthem. Sir, you have been using the governors as your representatives, representatives of a...
Just wait, Nisikant.
सर वो सीनियर मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट हैं, जो उनको सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं वो भी सीनियर मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट है। सबको पता है 352(5) जो कंडक्ट है हाई अथॉरिटी पर बैठे हुए आदमी का, चाहे प्रेसिडेंट का हो, चाहे गवर्नर का हो, चाहे चीफ इलेक्शन कमिश्नर का हो। लीडर ऑफ द अपोजिशन राहुल गांधी भी गलत बोल गए, बोलते रहे, सब ताली थपथपाते रहे। कनी भी वैसा ही गवर्नर के बारे में बोल रही हैं। यदि इस तरह से पार्लियामेंट चलेगा सर, तो इस पार्लियामेंट का क्या मतलब?
वो पार्ट ऑफ प्रोसीडिंग नहीं होगा। मैंने रूलिंग दे दी है। That will not be a part of the proceeding. Please kindly you conclude. Please kindly you take all of you take seat. Kindly please you conclude. I think so. Then that you have only 29. Your party has only 29 minutes. Already you have taken 27 minutes. So how or other speaker how he can?
That is between my party colleague. That is between me and my colleague.
That is the time constraint. Can you enlighten? No, Mr. Don't pass any remark on the chair, please. Kindly conclude it. Kindly conclude.
Sir, you are depriving the states of their rights, of their fiscal autonomy, and I'd like to say, please learn from the Dravidian model in Tamil Nadu, which is inclusive. I'd like to finish with a quote by our Chief Minister, Muthuvel Karunanidhi Stalin. The Dravidian model does not destroy, it creates. The Dravidian model does not break, it repairs. The Dravidian model does not divide, it unites. The Dravidian model does not demean, it treats everyone equally. The Dravidian model does not exclude anyone. Standing shoulder to shoulder, it embraces everyone. Learn to embrace. This is one country, don't destroy it.
Shri Bharat ji.
Taste Daily. Taste the Daily.
அயன் சத்து தலைமுடி உதிர்தலை தடுக்கும் மிதமான சூடு பாலில் கலந்து பருகலாம். லயன் டேட் சிரப் தினமும் 2 ஸ்பூன்.